Hey, so what are you guys doing today? I see you guys got in and out.
Actually selling burgers for the Berkeley Accounting Society. We're trying to raise enough money to get really good guest speakers to come in and talk to the Berkeley sort of accounting population here. We're trying to make sure that we're trying to get Mark Cuban to come. Actually, he's one of the speakers for Shark Tank, and he won't come for free. So we're trying to make sure we get enough money, trying to get enough funds to hold a really good event, and hopefully you guys can come see that. So if you guys want a burger, you guys can totally get one. It's just $5. Just $5. Come support our cause. If you ask. Yeah, we're the Berkeley Accounting Society, and we take $5 Venmo or cash. So, yeah. Are you down? That's awesome. Yeah, we accept Venmo.
I'm getting me a burger. So this is really happening.
It's really happening. It's super happening. This just happened. You're good to go. You're good to go. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have an amazing day.
Thank you, you too, and good luck for you guys. Thank you so much.
What's good, my DSP fellow?
This is my cheat day, so I have to do it. I haven't had In and Out in like 3 months.
Yo, me.
So let's just get my reaction off of this because it's about to be amazing.
Yo, Roy, come in. Roy, come get our food, bro. Come on,
So what does Black history mean to you?
So it just, well, I don't want to make like a long-winded question, but I kind of have to go there because like I'm born and raised in Southern California. And I mean, it was always really important to me. My mom, she always had, the I Have a Dream speech and Martin Luther King like on the wall and in our home, and Jacob Lawrence, the artist, and even the Emancipation Proclamation was put up in our home. And, so it was woke at home, but I hated it a little bit at school. Living in Southern California is weird because they always count how many Black students are in the class. Like, oh, it's Black History Month. Look around. There's only 4 of you in here. And so I kind of hated that part, being around, other, like non-Black people who don't get it. Because it's always like, oh, let's just take this time and, count how many. I have like a Black friend too, and count how many of you are in there. And a lot of students didn't take it serious, and it kind of hurt. It's very important to me and like my people and at home. It's everything. It's being, a woman of color. It just means a lot, not just for all the things that we've done, but, just to kind of love the skin you're in and being, the person you are. So it's really deep.
All right, so what does Black history mean to you?
As a non-Black person of color, Black History Month means recognizing that there's still a long way to go in terms of having 28 days out of 365 is not enough to recognize the historic trauma that the U.S. has managed to, or the war that the U.S. has waged upon Black life. So Black History Month is just a recognition that there's still another 300 some days left to fill of the year to recognize the way that the U.S. has dispossessed people and continues to do so.
Sure. Well, I don't know. In London, I feel like it's not like as big a thing as it is out here. Obviously, like it's still a thing, but I feel like the importance is placed on it out here, especially. I don't know so much in like Berkeley, but I don't know, especially at the Black community in Berkeley. Like, I feel like that's a really good thing. And definitely, I've seen like a lot of posters around, especially at my work. I work up at Foothill, just like giving you a history on different like important historical figures. I feel like that's a really great thing. Just like, just because it's obviously all year round we learn about white history constantly, and like, that's just like what's ingrained in the system. So I feel like it's important. I know it should be longer than a month, I feel, but I mean, like, it's a start,
What does Black history mean to you?
So to me, Black history is a time where I could like reflect more on myself as an individual and the people who have made my life like much more meaningful. Like looking at the various like Black figures that we look up to on a daily basis. I come from Ghana, West Africa, and to me, like one person that I almost reflect on each and every day is our first Black president, which is Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. Like most people might know about him, and to him, whenever there's Black History Month, I always think about him and how hard he fought for the independence of Ghana. He didn't do it alone. He did it together with other upright people who also wanted to liberate Black people like in Ghana from colonial rule. So I always think about the struggle they went through and it lets me know that if black people can get this far in liberating a whole country and even a whole continent, then it means that we could do more as people. And so far as we put our minds to something, we could do everything like together. Together we can achieve a lot.
What does Black history mean to you guys?
You know, to me, it's really about reducing that stigma that's around this, previous culture that we've had around, Black culture and stuff. The idea that Black people and just people of color in general have equal rights, are able to do exactly what people, Caucasian people are able to do, and just like making sure that this entire environment of equality is spread across. And to me, a lot of movements are happening, like Black Lives Matter, and as well as like these movies like Black Panther that are being released. And I think it's very empowering towards just reducing the stigma and making sure that equality is spread across throughout even, the most stigmatized of places.
So I took a class last semester at Berkeley, African American Studies 27 AC, with Dr. Michael Cohen, and he really is just he's a really incredible professor, and he really opened my eyes to what Black history is and how much we should really care about it today and how much racism really still exists today. So I think studying like texts from Malcolm X, Frederick Douglass really opened my eyes and made me care a lot more about how relevant it is today and how much we should still really care about it and how important it is for everyone to really try to understand this. So that class really opened my eyes. If you have a chance to take it, I would definitely suggest it.
Just based off your experience in college and learning more about Black history, going back to high school, do you guys remember anything you guys were taught during Black History Month? Do you think it was enough?
Yeah, I think, in my high school, I'm from Canada, and we were Black History Month was sort of like suppressed where I was from, because just the predominant race in my high school wasn't Black, and so we sort of glossed over it, and I feel like that's not really doing it justice. The entire idea is to really like highlight the struggle that was faced by the Black community, and I feel like where I grew up, it definitely wasn't focused as much as it should have been. I'm really glad you guys are going out and asking people this, but I feel like it's really something that should be like, out there and people should be aware of. And I feel like, all we can do is, raise awareness for this kind of stuff nowadays. And yeah.
I feel like every Black person can kind of like make a point that in high school they don't teach a lot when it comes to Black history. So what are some things that you remember in high school when it came to Black History Month?
It was always like these worksheets about like who is George Washington Carver? Oh, he made peanut butter, and Du Bois, but it was always like the students making fun of these incredible individuals and drawing faces on them, and I just hated it. And this teacher would be like, oh, well, just show some respect. So it was always like write a paper or something like that. There was no like deep meaning.
So coming home from like London, do they expand more on Black history enough, or is it just limited?
To be honest, I don't really know. Sometimes it's easier to see because I'm like an outsider looking in. It's easy to see like that it's like Black History Month, like it's like a big thing out here. So I think maybe like it is a big thing in London, but I can't see it as much. And especially in like my circle or at my school, it wasn't really like there wasn't really much of a focus at all.
So like just coming from like a white person and seeing a lot of superhero movies with only white people, I feel like there should be more movies with just people of color, just like that. So like, which is like more representation.
I feel like it's quite a big moment, especially for like a big Hollywood movie to have like such like a diverse cast. It was just like I don't know, like it's mostly Black actors. You feel so. Right. It's like I feel like it's a big moment. I saw some like videos on Instagram of like little Black boys being like, nah, I want to be him. Like I want to be him. Like I feel like that's a really big moment because like when I was younger, you looked at like all the superheroes, they're all just like white, and that's like the thing that everyone looked up to. I feel, but so I think it's like great to have like like strong, powerful like role models for like the Black community, especially. And I feel like that's sort of I don't know. Like there's definitely a huge hype over Black Panther, but I feel like it's like we won't really see the effects for like a few, like years to come, where it's going to be like a staple movie, for like people to look up to. So I feel like that's really important as well. So I'm hyped for it like that, like, and the soundtrack was popping as well. So like yeah.
So what does Black history mean to you guys?
For me, it means that we have to recognize how this country doesn't respect people equally, and that we have certain privileges, but also being Latino, recognizing that there are Black people in our countries, in our communities, and how we need to uplift their voices in different ways, whether that's just representing them through our media or giving them a platform so they can represent themselves.
It's like embracing the culture and like I don't know, like in my family, we do have African, like Afro, and it's like he said, I'm Latina, but like from Peru, there's so many that have dark skin, and like some of my cousins are like darker than me, and we embrace it because it's like part of our culture, the music that I listen to, the dances we do, and I just think it's beautiful this month, and just looking at the culture and the history.
So what does Black history mean to you guys?
Black history to me kind of just it kind of just reminds people of everything that our people went through before. Like it shows like how it was then and how we got to now, and it just reminds people of like what history was for us and like how it all changed.
Well, to me, it's a big part of American history, and there's a lot of change that's happened around Black history. It's almost a bigger part than white history in a way for this country.
That bread looks good though, by the way.
Yeah.
So what does Black history mean to you guys? Let's start with you.
For me, it's about reflecting on history and like giving credit to those who have been undeserving or have not been given their credit within history, and for people to realize that that within our society we still have a lot of issues, and that we need to be recognizing people for their achievements, and make sure that those who have been discredited throughout history are at least now getting the recognition they do deserve.
For me, it has more to do with self-education, because the older I get, the more I realize that I really don't know a lot about Black history just because it wasn't taught to me. So Black history comes around, and then I remember to educate myself. Even though I'm Black, like I'm still educating myself all the time.
Fucking with the gang, yeah, I had to man up, one fist in the air, I ain't finna put my hands up.
I wish a nigga would, I wish a nigga would.